A family trip turned into a moment of deep sadness and shock for US Vice President Vance, who's currently visiting India with his wife, Usha, and their 3 young children. Vance landed in Delhi just a day before one of the deadliest terror attacks in Jammu and Kashmir in recent years. On Tuesday, terrorists opened fire on tourists in a beautiful town of Pahalgam, often called a mini Switzerland because of its stunning beauty. At least 26 tourists were killed and nearly 20 others were badly injured. Among the victims were 2 foreign tourists as well. Shockingly, this brutal attack happened while people were simply posing for photographs in traditional Kashmiri clothes, a very popular tourist activity. Suddenly, terrorists dressed like Indian army officers began shooting without any mercy. It was chaos. Families were torn apart in an instant. Now, this horrific attack is believed to be carried out by a terror group linked to Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba, a group that has been behind many attacks in India over the years. Let me tell you, this Pahalgam massacre is being called the worst attack on civilians in Kashmir since the Pulwama attack back in 2019, when 40 Indian soldiers were killed. In the meantime, immediately after hearing about this tragedy, US Vice President Vance shared his feeling on X. He wrote, "Usha and I extend our condolences to the victims of the devastating terrorist attack in Pahalgam, India. Over the past few days, we have been overcome with the beauty of this country and its people. Our thoughts and prayers are with them as they mourn this horrific attack." Vance was in Jaipur, by the way, Rajasthan, at the time of posting this particular message. Hundreds of kilometers away from the attack zone, but still deeply connected emotionally. Now you think about it. A top US leader visiting India with his young family to experience India's beauty, now witnessing the country's pain firsthand. This was supposed to be a soft, happy visit. Now it carries memories of bloodshed and terrorism. In the meantime, US Vice President Donald Trump also condemned the attack strongly. He said that the United States stands with India against terrorism, offering full support and deepest sympathies. And that too to the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, and the people of the country. But the question is, could this hurt US-India relationship? Well, this attack couldn't have come at a worse time. India and the US have been working closely together in many areas: defense partnership, trade and business deal, joint effort to counter China in the Indo-Pacific, strengthening people-to-people ties through education, tourism and tech collaboration. Having a sitting US Vice President in the country during a major terror attack creates a very negative global image, right? It reminds the world, specifically the West, that despite India's economic rise and modernization, terrorism from across the border remains a huge problem for us. There are also concerns that will this impact American tourism willingness to travel to India? Will the US media now paint Kashmir or India as an unsafe destination? Will the US politicians start pushing India to act even tougher against Pakistan? And lastly, could it cause small strains in the emotional bond between the two nations? But let me tell you, so far, Washington's response has been supportive. But behind closed doors, American officials may demand even stronger anti-terror measures from India to ensure the safety of foreigners, specifically when one of their top leaders' family is so close to the danger. In the end, the Pahalgam attack is not just an internal tragedy for India. It has international consequences too. With the US Vice President's family on Indian soil during the bloodshed, global attention is now sharply focused on how India will respond and how it will continue to ensure the safety of its own citizens and its guests.